When we think about what makes a company truly successful, our minds usually jump to things like profit or innovation or market share, right? But what if the real blueprint for success, the thing that makes it last, is built on something deeper? Today, we're going to talk about how to architect integrity, not as some boring compliance checkbox, but as a core strategic advantage that can set an organization apart. So let's ask that big question. What is the blueprint? Is it really just about having a killer product or a brilliant marketing plan? Or is there something else, a deeper, underlying structure that holds the whole thing together? The kind of foundation that makes a company strong, resilient, and actually built to last. All right, so the very first thing we have to do is completely reframe how we see ethics. Forget that dusty old binder sitting on a shelf somewhere. We need to start seeing ethical standards as something way more active and powerful than just a simple guideline. And this sentence right here, this is a game changer. It completely challenges the traditional view. It's telling us that having high ethical standards isn't just about being good for the sake of being good. Nope, they are a means to an end. They're meant to achieve something really tangible. So if they're not the end goal, then what are they? Well, think of them as a strategic tool. It's less like a rulebook and way more like a precision instrument, designed for a very specific purpose, to build up organizational strength and to boost how effective you are. It's a huge shift in perspective. Okay, so if ethics is the tool, what exactly does it build? Well, our source material points to two fundamental pillars, two absolutely critical outcomes that support any truly successful organization. And here they are. On one side, you've got the pillar of organizational integrity. That's all about your reputation, the trust people have in you, that's solid foundation. On the other side, you've got operational effectiveness, which is, how well you actually perform and get things done. But the real insight here is that these aren't separate goals. They're deeply connected. They actually strengthen each other as they rise together. And that brings us to this simple number 2. It's not about just one benefit, it's about a powerful combination of two. See, high ethical standards build your organization's character, and they improve its performance. One literally feeds the other. And boom, here it is, straight from the source. This just nails the point we've been talking about. It's not an either-or situation. The same practices that build your integrity are the very same ones that make the whole organization run better. They're two sides of the same coin, two outcomes from a single strategy. Okay, so we get the what. Integrity and effectiveness. We get it. But, and this is a big but, here's the catch. You can't just wish for these things. High standards don't just magically appear. They have to be intentionally designed and built, just like any strong building. And this leads us to what any good architect would do next. You gotta inspect the foundation. Before you even think about building up, you have to look down. You have to understand the grounds you're building on. And that includes looking for all its potential weaknesses and fault lines. This is just such a practical piece of wisdom. To build a culture of high integrity, you can't just focus on the good stuff. You have to be willing to proactively dig into what causes unethical behavior in the first place. This isn't about being negative, it's about being a realist and a pretty good engineer, for that matter. It just makes sense, doesn't it? You would never ever build a skyscraper without knowing about the risk of earthquakes in the area. So in the exact same way, you can't build an ethical organization without understanding the pressures, the temptations, and the systemic issues that could cause cracks to appear down the line. So this brings us to the real heart of this entire approach. This whole architectural mindset isn't about finding some magic formula. It's really about developing the right mindset. It's about learning to ask the right questions right from the very start. So here's the blueprint for how to think about this. Step 1, you reframe ethics as a strategic tool. Step 2, you clearly define those twin benefits you're aiming for, integrity and effectiveness. And then step 3, you do the diagnostic work. You get in there and investigate the potential causes of failure. And ultimately, that's the key takeaway. Architecting integrity isn't some destination you just arrive at one day. It's a continuous process of inquiry. Probably the most powerful thing a leader can do isn't to hand down all the answers, but to build a culture that's constantly asking the right questions. And so, we're gonna leave you with that, the architect's first question, but applied directly to you. What cracks might be lurking in your organization's foundation? Don't look away from the answer. Because identifying those cracks, that's the first, most critical step in building something that's truly meant to last.